Hey guys, KT here, welcome back to some more Dragon Age Origins, where last time we actually managed to pretty much set up our very first camp after, gathering the squad. And, yeah, we're currently progressing on forward after we had a few chats with a couple of our teammates and found out that Sten does not like having chats whatsoever, because why not? And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to progress on forward because we still haven't talked to Morgan yet. And, I might as well chat everyone up while we have a chance. So if you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe, check out the links in the description below. Really helps out. And let's get started.
What do you wish of me?
Oh, now that we're alone, can we discuss something personal? Okay. Let's talk about something personal then.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Yeah, why are you still here? Like, she made it very clear, like, she didn't want to go with us.
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
Yeah, no, I really don't want you to leave, to be honest.
Then I assume our discussion ends here.
Damn. I got disapproval for that?
What do you wish
Damn.
of me?
Okay, let me ask you something.
If you must.
Yeah, how did you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
I love how you'd be like, it's just a legend, right? You know what? Let's bring up the fact that, it does seem like her mother has been doing this for a while.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Okay, yeah, can you become can anyone become a shape changer? Good question.
Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell, and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
That is fair. I doubt it, but other humans?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Okay, that's cool. How much time you spend as an animal? I have not seen that yet.
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
Okay. And okay. Oh, that is a good question. Do the animals have different opinions on you when you're changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
Okay, might as well do the last option. Never heard of it.
No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the Chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could, but as luck have it, Some still exist. My mother is such a one.
Okay. I love how we can appease the Chantry. We're not doing that, because they kind of seem like assholes. Okay, we're just gonna go with that, because honestly, I get the whole magic being an issue-ish thing in the Dragon Age. I kind of remember bits of Dragon Age 2 because I have played it and do that a little bit. But I do like this option right here. We're just going to go with that. It's good. Because it's still magic regardless. It's just pretty much stopping certain magics.
I am surprised you think so. Still, 'tis a pleasant thing to hear.
And that's all I wanted.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
I love how it may be tied to a flagpole and tickled. That would just make you angry, I think. That I just want to do this option because it's silly. Yeah, let's just do the safe option, because I think the other one might be a bad option.
Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Look, I get it if we were talking about Alistair here, but me, on the other hand, I'm pretty open-minded to this.
What do you wish of me?
Is there anything else I'm
If
missing?
you must.
Okay, there's a lot here. Okay. We already know that. Have you been... Oh, good question. Have you been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
Ooh, flirty answer. Yep. We're doing the flirt. Always the case here.
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Oh. I feel sorry for the Templar. Yeah. That is... Yeah, we'll do that
They came
one.
with as much swagger and arrogance as they did self-righteousness. Pity them if you wish, for they held none for us. Flemeth would warn them, once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Yo! Surely more would have followed. Okay. Okay, oh, this is a difficult choice. Let's go with option 3.
Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Fuck this cough, man. I really hate that. Ooh, made my wrist hurt a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, let's do this one. They got what they deserved.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
That's true. Let's Responsibility. Okay. If I were a mage. Okay. Yep. I agree. Or hold on. Yeah, agree.
Oh, I hope you're not simply being agreeable. It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
What do you mean? I have not treated you poorly once. Also, stop
What do
kicking
you
me
wish
out
of me?
when you have conversation dialogues.
If you must.
Like, seriously, I want to get all of them. So, did you grow up in the wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
I mean, fair. I love how you just be like, you can probe me anytime. It's my favorite way of annoying you. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? We're already on the flirt train.
Beg pardon then while I jump for joy. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
Okay. But you kept... Oh, okay. Yeah, so you kept going back?
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Okay. You know what? Well, let's point out that it sounds like her, to be honest.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
I'm supposed to be surprised you're a good liar. You know what? Quick
Men
thinking.
are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Oh. Oh, let's see. That's a weird one right there. Well, it's the way it's phrased. Yeah, let's ask if like she's talking about let's ask if it was a handshake.
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
I guess the joke's on you. You know what? Let's say we're glad it worked out this way.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Gray Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Okay, but you have one more. I'm really
Yes?
boosting the approval. That works for me. I love how you can continue the conversation.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
It sounds wonderful.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. It was encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure Flemeth wasn't pleased, was she?
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Damn. Yeah, but no, you're a child though.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Okay, yeah, but you don't need to live like that, though. Not, at least not anymore.
Do I not? I am still an apostate mage, even if I have left the wilds. The Darkspawn are yet undefeated. No, there is much that remains. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
I mean, fair. There's one more option. You know what? Let's
Yes?
finish it up. We've already talked this long.
If you must.
So, Flemeth, is that really how she, like, does she match who she is?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
No, a nutty old bat, an old woman. Yeah, no, let's do the simple one, an old woman.
Oh, she is certainly old. Have no mistake of that. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more, okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm more interested in, like, the truth behind it.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Okay. Yeah, how long ago was that, honestly?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Flemeth would have been angry.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
Oh. So, yeah, no, so she did love it, Olsen then.
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, okay, so let's do this one.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Okay. The legend tells... and do you... Yeah, no, good question. Do you believe this version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
That's fair. And how exactly has she survived? Was it this demon that you were talking about?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Damn. Oh, okay, so... You know what, let's just say thank you for the story.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious, nevertheless.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do this one. I mean, it is a pretty accurate statement here from what we tell from the beginning.
Nothing. I wish to know nothing more. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
I was kind of hoping she was going to ask questions, but I guess not.